What if I told you about a hidden secret that was revealed in chapter 1017 and 1018 when Who's Who talked about his misfortune ever since losing the Gomu Gomu no Mi and being sent to prison? How did Who's Who escape? What does all that have to do with the sun god? Hello all, it's Kube the Red Sea and welcome to another fiery Den production. So it all started 13 years ago when Who's Who was tasked to escort a government ship holding the Gomu Gomu no Mi. For his failure in guarding the fruit, he was arrested and imprisoned despite his prior service. It's safe to assume that he wasn't just a fodder agent when he compared his prowess similar to Lucci, who he called a genius. And it's also not a big assumption to say that he would have been sent to Impel Down, and Impel Down known for people to be forgotten, and most likely sent to level 6, in which that's where he might have interacted with that guard, and that same guard who told him about the sun god Nika legend, in which afterwards he suddenly vanished from unclear reason. This is what prompted Who's Who to escape from Impel Down. However, there are two questions that were never addressed. Why did Who's Who talk about the legend of sun god Nika after mentioning his ordeal with the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and how did he manage to escape from Impel Down? And the answer is pretty simple. It all came from that jailer. So who is this mysterious jailer, and how does he know so much? So before telling you who we think the jailer might be, let's talk about why the jailer might have talked about the legend, as we don't believe that the jailer tells that to every person that will rise to level 6. We believe that the jailer knew much more about the sun god Nika legends, as he might have told Who's Who because of his connection with the Gomu Gomu no Mi. So to an extent, he knew a bit more than the average person. And actually, we don't think he disappeared. I think he made him think he disappeared, and when Who's Who got scared, actually tried to facilitate for him to escape. All this to make sure that he would spread the legend of the sun god Nika with the knowledge of the fruit that he had. But is there a current jailer in Impel Down that fits the bill? Not really, but there's actually a former head jailer of Impel Down, and who is now the current 2nd Fleet captain of the Blackbeard Pirates, and that's Shiryu. Reminder, Who's Who's epithet is Who of the Droplet, and Shiryu's epithet is Shiryu of the Rain. So there's already a first connection between both of them. And then there are some few things that are quite interesting with Shiryu during the Impel Down arc. First of all, the reason of his arrest is a bit weird, when he is said that he was arrested because he was too cruel. Yet Magellan, Sandy, and Hannibal each showed a certain level of cruelty, but only Shiryu was sent to level 6 for being too cruel, a place where you're sent there to be forgotten. Secondly, Shiryu demanded to be released from his jail so that he can help preserve the reputation of Impel Down. But once he was released, he attacked the guard. After running with the Blackbeard Pirates, decided to destroy the Den and Mushi, thus adding on to the chaos, basically creating a situation for Liberator to solve. And even though he saw Luffy and Buggy first, he never actually interacted with them, but only interacted with Blackbeard Pirates, which is quite interesting because after he accepts to join the crew, he says this to Blackbeard: "I've been waiting for somebody just like you." So yes, I said it. Shiryu the Rain believes that Blackbeard is the sun god himself, and I even say it's safe to assume that the other level 6 escapees might actually believe that. So that would mean that during that escape, there were one group of prisoners that might have believed that it was Luffy, while others believed that it was Blackbeard. But the Luffy part is not that big of a stretch considering of his fruit. But what if I tell you that that's not the interesting part? It is actually who be one of the person that believed that Luffy is Nika, and that would be Crocodile. So first of all, Crocodile is a vault of information, so it isn't a huge stretch to think that he's caught on this fault. And also to reminder, at the end of the Paramount War, he said to Mr. One that he had a plan. So that means that the events of Impel Down and Marineford might have given him the idea. So thinking that Luffy is the sun god is not a big stretch, thinking that it might have a correlation to his master plan. And also we're big believers that Karibu's man is actually Crocodile. So as you can see here, there's a sketch of Barworks Mr. 10 that actually never was shown, but only a draft was shown by Oda, and that looks very similar to Karibu. And when we first meet Karibu, he, as you can see, he's wearing his shirt with an X on it, which could mean a cross, but it could also mean the Roman letter for number 10. And both have logias who are linked to the element of earth. And not to mention that Karibu's men must know about the importance of Luffy's crew, or at least have an interest for them, or at least a run-in to know that they have some sort of importance with ancient weapon. And the one that is a perfect candidate is actually Crocodile. He, with Nico Robin, the entire Alabasta arc, not to mention that he's had more than one run-in with Luffy, Alabasta and Impel Down and Marineford. So it's not a big stretch to think that Crocodile is actually keeping an eye on Luffy in his progression. However, this is all I can share for now, as we're planning to dedicate our entire Impel Down series part 2 on Crocodile and his master plan. As for the last possible candidate, so the question is this: do you know a certain pirate that was in Impel Down and that was nicknamed the Messiah? Yes, I'm talking about him. The goat himself, Buggy the Clown. Now I know it sounds ridiculous, but think about it. He liberated a big portion of the prisoners, the same one who called him the Messiah, and seemed to have a blind belief towards Buggy and everything he did. It wouldn't be a shock that it makes sense, because they've actually hold on to that legend And when they saw Buggy, they believed in him. You know, kind of a God Usopp type of situation in Dressrosa. And as we're arriving to the end of our theory, I'm gonna be pretty honest, this theory was never supposed to be done. We decided to do it because our Impel Down theory was supposed to be showcasing Crocodile's master plan. But we thought before that to introduce that there was actually more than one Nika that could have been believed in Impel Down. And all I can say about the part 2 is that if you really like what we talked about here, you're gonna like even more the second part of the series. So also, most importantly, we would like to give a shout out to our friend Dila Joyboy, who on Discord shared that information about Caribou's man could actually be Crocodile. So with that, I want to thank everybody who stayed until the end. You know, like, subscribe, share, you know, talk about it, you know, spread the knowledge, and we'll all see you at part 2, Crocodile's master plan, a master plan that was foreshadowed 3 times.